Welcome back to Tornado Talk. It is your co-host Wes Spikerman from Wayne, Pennsylvania.
And I am Jacob Belisle from Austin, Texas.
And here in the studio with us is...
Kameron Hayes from Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome, Cameron.
Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So good at it.
Really quickly before we get started, just a recap. We finished tornado term. We're back in school. Jacob is back with us in the studio.
I am.
Very good. How was your internship?
My internship was great, man. I interned for a family friend doctor, and they do like drug trials, like clinical drug trials on bipolar and schizophrenic people. So it was, you know, you learn a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Were you behind the
No, I wasn't like I wasn't like with him. I was like working the front desk, and I was doing like paperwork and like all that stuff. But still, you still see how it all goes down. It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool.
A lot of stuff going on.
So, Uncle Cam, I don't know, have you watched any of the Tornado Talk podcasts?
I've watched bits and pieces of a couple.
So I'm going to test you now. Do you know what our opening game is?
Do I remember them? No. Do I watch? Yes.
Very diplomatic answer from Kameron Hayes.
So this opening game we like to call Quickfire.
Okay.
So we're going to spit some questions at you, and then I think these are different questions. So we're going to just spit a question at you like dogs or cats, say, for example, and then you just, first thing that comes to your mind, you tell us back, okay?
Okay.
All right, Wes, kick it off.
All right. Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
Ooh, Godfather or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Respect.
Who's the funniest junior?
Sam Braith.
That must hurt. That's got to hurt.
I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
hurts
think
a little
about
bit.
Sam.
No, Sam's pretty stinking funny. I'm not going to lie. He's a funny guy.
All right. Hardest class at Macaulay?
AP Lit, Dr. Latham.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a long one. Would you rather be able to speak to... Whoa.
Reading comprehension.
I know. That's why I'm not with Dr. Latham. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Every language in the world.
See, I want to talk to animals.
Really?
I want to talk to my dog.
Okay, but what about the little tribes of 10 people that speak a language no one can understand and you can understand it?
Like you knew all the ancient languages also.
Oh. Well, that changes the game.
Well, I mean, that's what every language
I think
means.
I'd still do animals because then I could be I could go down in the water and talk to fish. You know what I'm saying? Be cool with fish. That'd be sick.
I mean, you can't breathe underwater, so I don't know how you
Okay.
would speak underwater, but that's cool. It's up to you.
Don't crush my dreams. All right. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
This one's kind
Okay.
of funny. Say "good day, mate" in an Australian accent.
Good day, mate.
That was pretty good.
I'm impressed.
That was much better than
Jacob,
mine.
do you want to try it?
No, do you want to try it?
No. That's why I asked you.
We embarrass ourselves enough already.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Favorite Macaulay tradition?
What's that pep rally before Baylor Macaulay football game?
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
I like that answer.
What about Duck Day? I heard it's coming up in the next 2 weeks.
It's gonna be cold then.
I don't know.
I heard they're doing the belly flop competition in a empty lake.
So now that was our quick fire game.
Okay.
You did an amazing, Uncle Cam.
Thank you.
So
Thank
now, this is where we like to get a little get to know you a little bit better. You know. So just starting out, how'd you get to Macaulay? How did that come on the radar for you?
So for me, I went to RCA, the Ron Clark Academy back in Atlanta, and a lot of my friends, Ralston Welch, Mason Calhoun, Elijah Sr., all came through RCA and went to Macaulay. So I asked them how their experience was, and they loved it. I applied. I loved touring the campus. My favorite part was the dining hall. You can always go back and get more food.
Good, man.
Yep.
Good,
Except he
man.
doesn't eat breakfast there.
I eat on the weekends. I eat breakfast on the weekends.
Okay.
But
So-
yeah, that's how I got here.
Okay. What would you say is the biggest difference between Macaulay and Atlanta?
The biggest difference is that the community, it's big if you want it to be big, but you can also make it small. While Atlanta is just big regardless.
Yep.
I like how close we all are, how, you can know somebody just by going to the same class or walking the same path with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially being a boarder,
Yeah.
in those dorms, I think that you can attest to that. You get really close with a good group of guys always. That's always nice.
Yes, sir.
So, how was the adjustment and what made it easy coming to Macaulay? Because, leaving home is never easy for anybody. So,
Yeah, what made it easier for me it was that I knew I had a support system. That was a very important thing. And then when I went to the dorm, the first day in the dorm, actually the Sunday after we moved in, we all played basketball. I remember we were down in the gym playing basketball. It was Henry Apsher, and Jack Darby and myself were down playing basketball, and we just started a conversation. Then from there, we built different networks of friends, and then Presley also makes it much easier because we're all in this together. We're all new boarders. We have to figure it out some way, somehow.
Do you remember who won?
Who won that game? I think Harry won because Harry was a tryhard. I'm not gonna lie, Harry was a tryhard in basketball.
Oh, we're talking Harry the RA.
Harry RRA.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he was a tryhard. He's pretty good at basketball though.
He was.
Yeah. It's kind of a random question. I want to ask it, Jacob, if you don't mind.
No, you get the random questions.
So yeah, that's true. Uncle Cam. Whenever I see you around campus, you are always dressed immaculately.
The best dressed person.
The best dressed person at Macaulay every day, no matter what. How do you pick your outfits in the morning? Like, when did this start?
So freshman year, it's a long story. I'll make it short.
Okay.
Freshman year, I used to iron my clothes every day before I went to bed. So I would pick out an outfit beforehand. But after you figure out, what colors go together, what looks nice together, you just begin to pick it in the morning. So I just turn on my light in the closet and figure out something, and you put it together as you go along. So you always have a solid color. And in the winter, you want something bright, but not too bright. I know today I'm wearing rather bright colors for the winter, but try to keep it a little seasonal.
So what piece of clothing do you start with first? Do you start with the shirt, the shoes, the pants? Like, where do we start?
I start with the pants, and then I build to the shirt because I always have a pair of suspenders or a vest that I would like to wear in mind for the day. So whatever suspenders go with the pants, then I build from there. So I originally started wearing hats. I'm not sure. I hear when I was younger, like 3 and 4, I was loving hats. I have a picture of myself when I was probably about 6 or 7 months in a seersucker suit and a hat. It must have been for Easter Sunday, something like that. But I've always loved hats. So most of my hats that I have now are all gifts. Since people know that I love hats, they just give me hats. The hat I wore today, my grandfather, it's about a year old. I keep them sacred. It's very important to me to keep those expensive pieces of clothing. I guess the best way to say it, for me, a hat is like a Gucci belt for somebody else, or some Supreme item that.
That's really nice. All right. Man, I wish I could dress like you. I'm shorts and t-shirts. I'm so lame.
So I have another question. What would you rate Jacob's outfit right now, 1 through 10?
I actually would give it probably a nice 10 for casual wear because you see,
there you go.
The blue pops out on the white shirt, but he's wearing mostly black and white. Look at the shoes; it goes all together.
Yeah, you're right. Now, what would you rate Wes's?
I mean, Wes, same. It goes together. The gray is a nice.
Oh, okay.
You see the blue and white in the jersey, and then you have it with the shorts and the shoes and the gray vest. A piece of comfort, but it also goes with the blue color. It goes well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey. Good looking.
I'm not gonna lie, if we're 10s, then Uncle Cam's gotta be like a 100 on this scale.
Thank you.
Uncle Cam's not even on this scale.
I know, he broke it.
This is a beginner scale. Oh, yes. If you want to see Cam's amazing outfit, go to our YouTube, Tornado Talk, and you can see his wonderful outfit. And you can see that he is being way too nice to Wes and I.
No, they look good. They really do. Look at that.
The American.
You can see the American slides. I'm just...
And
represented out here.
Go see Cam's outfits. Man, he's well dressed. He's well dressed, I'll tell you that.
Always well dressed.
So, junior year.
Okay.
And the rumor has it that junior year is one of the hardest years at Macaulay and kind of in high school. So, how has your junior year been so far? Has it been tough? Has it been pretty easy? Or how would you rank it?
I would say junior year post-T-term has been the most difficult portion of the year.
Oh.
Because T-term, I didn't really have a chance to plan ahead. And I've learned, especially with junior year, working ahead of the game helps you out. So if you want to make junior year hard, just work either behind or work on pace. But if you work ahead, you would have more time, because there are days when Dr. Ritchie gives you 2 hours of homework.
Yeah.
And he said at the beginning of classes, he does not expect us to get it all done. But if you want an A in the class, he highly suggests do all the reading, watch all the videos. So if you have that, plus Dr. Latham, who may assign you 20 pages, but the font is very small, so it takes you even longer to read.
Yeah.
Then for me, I have Latin with Mr. Hayes, and I have translations that are difficult. Then you take other classes, compounded upon that, it becomes difficult. But if you work ahead, get Dr. Richie's homework done. My goal is to be done with Richie by Monday. Monday afternoon, I should be done with his homework for the entire week.
By Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
For that whole week?
For the rest of the week.
That's my goal because
that is impressive. Props to you. Actually, that is.
It doesn't always happen, but that's the goal.
That's a great goal, though.
Out of curiosity, we had a DBQ assigned to us this last week.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I did it the night before, and that's my fault. By the way, for everyone who doesn't know, a DBQ is a document-based question. It's on the AP exam for U.S.
It's for
history.
all histories, I believe.
Yeah. Dr. Richie teaches U.S. or AP U.S. history. Uncle Cam and I both had his class.
If you've been watching, you should know that because he was a guest.
That's true.
But basically, they just give you documents, and they give you a prompt, and you got to write a paper using the documents.
Yeah, and it's a pain. And I did mine the night before. But I'm curious, if you do all your homework by Monday, when was this DBQ done?
So this week, like I said, T-term has messed me up.
Mm-hmm.
So this week,
I
did it. Excuses are sometimes useful.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I did mine on, believe it was Tuesday night, because I had finished chapter 15, which was due Wednesday. I did that all Tuesday, and then Tuesday night I did the DBQ, which was difficult, to say the least.
They are not easy.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's okay, Wes. Some people have different experiences with them. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, I struggle in that class. No, I'm kidding. All right. So I'm a junior.
Okay.
You're a junior. Ethan's a junior. How would you describe our junior class in 3 words?
Ooh, this is difficult.
That's the point.
Can I say a sentence and lead up to it with a colon and then 3 following words?
Yeah. We can do that.
Booth's giving us the go ahead.
I would say the class of 2023, charismatic, diverse, and more than just the racial meaning and the personality meaning. Mm-hmm. And very personable. Very, very personable.
Those are 3 great words. And I know what those aren't even in Wes's vocabulary.
All right. The Wes Lender has got to stop. The Wes Lender.
All right, Wes, how would you describe the junior class?
No, I think Uncle Cam put it perfectly.
No, you did. That's really good.
I mean, I would probably would have used like 3-letter words, but
give us an example, Wes.
Fun. Good.
That's 4. See, look.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, there you go.
New record.
So, if people don't know, Kameron Hayes, we call him Uncle Cam.
Or the preacher.
Or Preacher Cam. And so, he is a very religious man. You are.
Yes,
and
sir.
so, how has Macaulay and your experience in Macaulay allowed you to strengthen and like grow your connection to God and your faith?
I will say, for boarders in particular, your roommate does matter. A roommate, not so much a roommate that prays together, will stay together, not that, but a roommate who pushes you in your faith, and a roommate who you can talk about those deep questions of faith with, whether they believe or whether they do not believe. It's very important. And also reaching out to other teachers that are of faith and finding a community at Macaulay that, I go to Second Missionary Baptist Church up the street on 3rd, and I have friends that go there. EJ goes there. Coach Thomas, he attends there. So having that community from Macaulay that goes to your church, but also having that community where you can talk with it about somebody, and they are open to you either not believing and having goals to believe, or find out what you believe, or believing and then having goals that you want to reach, and they will push you to those goals. They will hold you accountable. So accountability at Macaulay really makes the religious experience worth it.
Okay.
That's amazing, yeah.
And I guess not everyone shares the same beliefs as you. So how would you say you've kind of navigated being surrounded by people who might not share the same beliefs that you do?
That's a real good question. Freshman year, it's an eye-opener for a lot of people. And I learned freshman year that my philosophies, my religious beliefs, my beliefs when it comes to schooling or, different ideas that I have, I can't force them on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to just be open to have the conversation. And I go in there with the idea in my head that I'm going to explain what I believe. And I'm going to receive. It's a give and receive kind of thing. I can't expect to just give it to you and then they expect and they want to give me back what they believe and I turn them down.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work like that. It makes them feel as if you are trying to parent them or tell them exactly what they have to do or what they cannot do. And you're not willing to learn from them. It shuts it down, I've learned.
That's a really mature answer.
That is, especially as a freshman, like, because, there's, you're a freshman, like, you're bound to make mistakes, but, like, the fact that you had that mindset going into it that speaks a lot about you, Cam. That's really, wow. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by you a lot of the time, all the time, every day.
Thank you.
And so, also, because you were so impressive, you are the president of the Black Student Union. Am I correct in this?
Yes, sir. Proudly.
Proudly, yes. Yeah, of course. So could you tell us a little more about the Black Student Union, or as we call it in Macaulay, the BSU, just for short, and like in terms of Macaulay and for Black people on campus? Like, what is that like?
So the Black Student Union, we've gone through many different names. We were, when I started as a freshman, AAA, so African American Alliance. Then we became BSU my sophomore year under Mason's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, BSU is serving as a place where we explore and we have this thing called Black Joy. It's this new social term that's been coming up over the last decade. And we pretty much have fun as a Black community. I believe, our first meeting with our freshmen and our new students, we're not a token club. We are a brotherhood, a community within a community. Because we understand that the Black experience is different, yes. But at these institutions where you're the minority, there will be some commonalities, some similarities that everyone will go through. So we're here to support you in that. You should not feel as if you're alone. If you feel as if you're alone, we're not doing our job.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, this year, BSU has been making an effort to build community. So that means our meetings, we meet every other Thursday, have been fun. We do Jeopardies, we laugh, we talk about things. It's trash. It's like a barbershop pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I think a good analogy for it, if you watch movies, will be Barbershop with Serge Entertainer in it and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Those movies, those conversations, the kind of joy, the kind of laughter is what BSU really has become.
Yep.
And that's what I hope we continue to serve as, a place where you can have fun, relax, let your hair down, and just be authentically you, be authentically Black at Macaulay.
Amazing. Yeah.
So how would you say you've been able to stay in touch with kind of your own culture and background while also, obviously navigating campus here?
I feel as if a big part of it comes from you being grounded in your family.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody, I feel as once you leave home, you're bound to change. But you can determine how much you change or what you change into. Or you can let people determine that for you. But if you're grounded in your family, and if you stay true to your values and your beliefs, you're less likely to change, or that you don't want to change. So for me, it's been, I constantly go back home to Tampa, where my family were all from. I constantly call family. I constantly talk about my grandfather, talk with my grandfather, who is one of the biggest influences in my life. I go to Second, which is like a family church. I go outside, and I made a point, and I tell everybody who wants to be a boarder at any boarding school, get off campus. Campus is a beautiful place, but you need to be in touch with the real world, because I've learned you can be a boarder at Macaulay all 4 years and never leave campus and have all that you need.
Yeah.
You have food, a place to worship, a place to work out, a place to go have fun. You have a community, you have people that you can talk to 24/7. So that changes your mind. But if you go off campus, you see the real world, and you are forced to deal with real world issues and the problems that the real world has, instead of staying in this, people call it a high heel, staying off by yourself.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. I think giving off campus is a big thing, especially coming out of COVID and like new students. Like, it's easy just to stay, not in this bubble per se, but just to like stay in this safe environment that we have here. So I do agree that it's nice to just get them out of the nest a little bit.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
And so this past year has brought up a lot of hard conversations, especially at Macaulay and especially in the world. And you have been one of those key figures here at Macaulay about having those hard conversations and talking to people and figuring things out. So how have you seen these conversations positively impact this campus, and what ways do you think Macaulay could still improve in what we're doing here?
I feel as if the biggest positive impact is that we're all aware of them now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hide it under the rug. The conversations can't be had in a small, quiet room and they never resurface again. I feel as if the positive impact is, especially with Black at Macaulay, Black students feel comfortable. They feel confident to go ahead and tell their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody feels confident, for that matter, enough to tell their stories to administration, to faculty and staff, and let them know that stuff is not right.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be a change. And with regards to the racial issues, I'm going to get back to the question. I feel as if those conversations have been positive, where Black students are being asked, what do you see? Instead of being told, here are some solutions we have, and not being involved in the conversations at all.
Yeah.
And one thing that Macaulay can continue to get better on is to listen, but listening time should not be a whole year and a half.
Okay.
A time for listening, in my opinion, should probably be 6 to 7 months. So that's one way that Macaulay can really get better at when it comes to racial issues.
Okay.
Awesome.
So how would you say it's been kind of working with Macaulay's administration concerning these issues compared to almost more on the ground with students and classmates here at the school?
You have to learn to live in two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been what this year has shown me. I have to live in two worlds. So I hear the concerns of my fellow students, my fellow Black students. Then I take it to administration, so I have to articulate it in a way that they can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to go back and report what's been happening. And I'm not going to lie, at times it's difficult dealing with any kind of school or any kind of organization trying to change policy after the place has been around for, what are we now going on, 117 years, I believe?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Dealing with an institution as old as that and trying to solve things, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest part is the waiting. I know a couple of our friends in the dorms hunt.
Yeah.
And the hardest part of hunting is just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
So now the hard part is waiting. And when you get the chance to go, you have to go with a plan. So that's one thing I would say. The hardest part is waiting and then going with a plan and not just passion. Because with too much passion, the entire point gets muddled.
Okay.
So you have to have your passion, but you have to have your plan, and you have to be willing to wait.
First, how would you describe your experience of being a Black student on this campus? And then what would you say to potential Black men thinking about coming to Macaulay as their future?
One big positive I've noticed as a Black student on campus, and this is, forgive me if I don't say it properly, but it's like a secret society. There are certain things we do at dinner, at lunch. Like there's certain jokes, unless you're involved in the circles, that you won't understand.
Yeah.
So like that's really one of the most positives. Is like you're in your own area, and it's very hard for people to get into there. But once you're in there, it's one of the best things in the entire world. You are enveloped. You're surrounded. You have people watching over you. I know at Macaulay, teachers look out for all the students, but it's different when you have a student that's looking out for you. So for me, my freshman year, it was Jay Hardy who was looking out for me. And having a senior who played football, who was a star athlete, look out for you, it's very different. You feel really cared about. I had Manny and Malik also in the dorm. It's like you had people always looking out for you. And then in leadership now, the hardest part is managing expectations. We have racial issues that go on campus, and you wanna say it's all going to get fixed the exact way we wanted to get fixed. But we know administration won't be able to do all that we want them to do because there are more students than the 78 Black students at Macaulay grades 6 through 12.
The second part, like, what would you say to a potential black man that wants to come to Macaulay? Like,
To them, I would say, with Macaulay and with all private institutions, as old, if not older than we are, know what you're getting yourself into. So that when something happens, you can be offended, but not surprised.
that discussion was very helpful. And like, I know our listeners and our viewers, like, you know, sometimes you kind of get lost in like everything at Macaulay, especially because something's always happening here that you kind of get lost and you don't realize some of these issues and things get overlooked pretty easily. And, you know, it sucks, but sometimes like it's a part of life, but like we also need to be reminded of like these issues and we need to solve them. But that was really, I want to thank you personally, Uncle Cam, for having that discussion with us, because I know it's a little uncomfortable, you know, to have those types of conversations, but it's what we need to have here. And
words are powerful.
The words are powerful.
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Cam, we would like to thank you so much for coming on the podcast and, you know, just being honest with us. We really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
This is my favorite announcement really quickly. Uncle Cam, we would like to add to your legendary wardrobe with a Tornado Talk t-shirt.
Well, thank you.
Just for you.
Thank you.
If you were wondering, it has our faces on it.
I'm going to put this up in my room. How about that?
Oh,
no
that's
way.
so nice.
Up in Uncle Cam's room.
Let's
put
go.
This up.
Put it on.
Yeah, you won't wear it, so hang it up.
Thank you all. Thank you, really.
You're so welcome. And also, thank you for everyone watching. If you're watching or if you're listening, if you're doing both, that'd be a little impressive.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you for doing that.
And then this I want to make this announcement. I'm so tired of Jacob as my co-host we are now looking for a new co-host for when he leaves. So please, someone who is funnier than Jacob, come on and submit your applications. I kind of stopped reading there. Let me see where you submit your applications. They don't have a place yet, but start thinking about it. If you want to be the new co-host of Tornado Talk with yours truly, unless I get fired, which is highly probable, the spot will be opening up next year, thankfully.
You're so mean. Well, yeah, on that sad note, you know, senior
It's
year.
a happy note.
Yeah, well, for Wes.
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
More
Going
sweet
on
than
a
bitter.
new chapter for me. Not yet, though. You're not getting me rid of me yet. Still have a lot of time. Unless the booth does fire me for all my jokes that I make that sometimes don't get put into the podcast. But that's for a different day. In other news, we have some super exciting segments coming up for Tornado Talk. And they're going to go on our Instagram, Tornado Talk Podcast. If you're not following, shame on you. One is Roommate Wars, which our boy Bobby does over here. Shout out to Bobby for that.
Shout out, Bobby. The other
Great job,
one
Bobby.
is Tornado Talk on Street.
Oh.
So follow our Instagram.
It's kind of
to
like
see
Billy
what
on the
that
Street.
is.
Please do go follow our Instagram. A lot of new stuff is coming. We're expanding, Wes. We're not the most important.
Without you.
We're not the most important people anymore.
That's Gap.
No, we still are.
We still number one. We still number one.
But yeah, please go check it out. Go check out our YouTube also, so you can see Uncle Cam's amazing outfits. You can see Wes and I.
Not so amazing outfits.
Not so amazing outfits.
These look good, y'all. Color coordinating is important.
No way.
Thank you.
Also, I want to point something out real quick. Jacob, I think you're starting to get gray hairs because Uncle Cam was calling you sir. So I think you're starting to get a little old.
Moving on. Again, we want to thank Uncle Cameron Hayes for coming on the podcast with us. You know, just telling us a little bit about your story.
Thank you.
Loved having you. Loved the laughs. Loved the serious conversations.
Always.
Great episode. So yeah, go follow our Instagram and go find us. Go share our podcast to family, friends, whoever you want. You know, Wes and I are a good time. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. See you next time.